Good morning. Look at all these happy faces. All ready for new ideas and new things and rewriting what a citizen means. And so this morning, I was telling my son, who's 13, that I said, Mom's a little nervous. I'm not really a public speaker. So, what's your advice? And he said, just pretend that you're talking to me and Melissa, his sister. So here I am in front of all of you. I'm going to pull the mom card on you. You're going to get the lecture that I would give to both of my children, 13-year-old Miles, 25-year-old Melissa. So I've lived in Baltimore City for 13 years. I've been a resident. And I think, though, that I've only been a citizen for about the past 5 years. Because if you look at the definition of citizenship, in the dictionary, there's a bunch of different definitions, but the best one I found was it's the quality of response to a place by the people who live there. And that's the thing that, if my legs could stop shaking maybe, that I'd really like to focus on is the quality of your responses to the place where you reside, where you call home. And I'm assuming that most of you live here in the city, otherwise you wouldn't be here. Residents ask for things of their government. Residents want things from their government, from their neighbors. Citizens demand them. For us, it's no question. We don't ask for things. We demand them. Obviously, it behooves you to do it in a nice way. Otherwise, you're going to turn a whole lot of people off. Welcome to my world. But residents ask and wait. Citizens demand and act. And if there's one thing that I can, even if it's just one of you in this room, leaves here today thinking, all right, I'm going to start demanding more. I'm going to start demanding more of the people that I have voted for. I'm going to start demanding more of myself. I'm going to start demanding more of my neighbors, nonprofit organizations. In this field, doing nonprofit work and doing policy work, you talk a lot. You talk to your colleagues. I talk to residents all day long via email or in person, and we talk a lot, but we don't do a lot. And I want each of you to think of something, in your head, in your heart, in your gut, that you think is just wrong with Baltimore City, and think, what can I do to act more, do more, and talk less about it? What can I do? How can I make these demands of my government and my neighbors and of myself? Whether it's, trash, whether it's crime, whether it's vacant housing, you're more than welcome to pitch in and help me with vacant housing. I welcome your help with vacant housing. But whatever the issue is, that it has to be meaningful to you. It's one thing to start a project about an issue that might be hot right now, but if it's not meaningful to you, you're not going to stick with it. You're not going to put in the time and energy and money and everything else that you need to make something truly successful. So my advice to find that meaningful thing, if you don't already have one in your head, get out of your car, get out of your neighborhood, get out of your house, walk around the city, look at the city, truly look at it. I can't tell you how many people I talk to who don't know that Baltimore City has a vacancy problem. What vacant houses, Carol? Where are they? Well, I didn't make them up. I didn't go board them up myself, take the pictures, take the boards down, and go put the boards on another house. I didn't go to Detroit one week and take a bunch of pictures of Detroit and put them on the internet and say, hey, Baltimore, look. These houses are here. They're in your neighborhood. They're in my neighborhood. They're in neighborhoods where you might have 20 residents left out of, a couple hundred. Go look at your city. Find the things that spark you and say, this needs fixing, this needs improving. This is a good process, but it could be made better. And then start emailing and phone calling and writing if you're so inclined. And you could take pictures too. It's pretty effective, But find something that really sparks you, because Baltimore City has great potential to be an amazing world-class city. We could be just as great as Philly. We could be just as great as DC. We could be just as great as New York. We could be just as great as any other city, because we have a resource here in Baltimore City that I have been to other cities and talked to people about, this very thing. But we have something special here in Baltimore. We have all of you, and we have your neighbors. It's the people in this city that will make it great, because we've started questioning our government. We've started questioning what's really going on with our tax money. We pay very high taxes to live here. Where's the money going? Why is it that we're seeing projects being funded for major campaign contributors, but not the projects that you need at your house and the projects that you need across the street from you? Why is it that your rec centers are being closed and your pools are being closed and your kids don't have anything to do after school and their schools are crappy anyway? Where's our money going? And people are starting to really question these things, and they're starting to question them in a very public way. And that's what I ask you to do. Take these concerns, take these things that bother you, and be a citizen, not just a resident. Start producing a quality response to the city that you're living in, however you choose to do it. But do more. Fight more. Question more. Ask, demand more of the city around you, the world around you. Because, we all deserve to live in a safe city, a clean city. I go into some of the worst neighborhoods in our city, and I don't have a car. So I'm there on my little 2 feet, walking through the neighborhood. And I'll tell you, it's kind of interesting. I've never once had a resident tell me, in what most would consider to be, a pretty bad neighborhood, I've never once had a resident tell me, yeah, Carol, we'd like more crime. I wish there was more trash in my alley. I've never heard that. I've never had a mom tell me, I wish we had worse schools, because I really don't want my kids to get an education. We all want the same. We all want better schools, and we all want better communities and safer communities, cleaner communities, communities where people are held accountable for the pain that they inflict upon others, whether it's a slumlord, whether it's, criminals, whatever it is. We want that accountability. We need that accountability. And it's time that we demand that accountability instead of just asking for it nicely. Please, could we have some accountability? No, you have to demand it. And right now, 2013, this year has been sort of the year of questioning the government, the world around. But it's time that we do it at home. We're focusing on Syria, and we're focusing on, national health care, and we're focusing on the sequestration of our government and all these different things. But what we need to focus on, how can we make Baltimore a great city to live in, to work in, to play in? And the only way that that's ever going to happen is that if each of us pick something and demand that it happens, make it happen, do it. Because I want Baltimore to be a great city. I live here. I'm raising my son here. It's the only home that he knows. this is his hometown. And for those of you who aren't from here and you moved here thinking, oh, well, I'll just sort of live with one foot out the door, as I did for many years living here. Think hard about your exit strategy. Do you really want to leave? Why are you leaving? What's driving you away? And those are the things that can be, I think, your topics, your things, the things that you want to fix. And I absolutely promise you that these things can be done by one person. Because if the one person gets involved, then someone else will pick up your cause. And then someone else will pick it up. It just sort of snowballs and mushrooms into this wonderful thing, and suddenly you have this huge coalition of people who are standing behind you and standing next to you saying, yes, we want better, we deserve better, we demand better. I mean, the tagline for my organization is, we can do better. And it's not just housing, it's everything. We can do so much better than what we've been doing. And it all starts with new ideas, new voices, new plans, new people, new everything. Scrap everything you've known, start from scratch, and just do. Thank you.